Alright, here we go. The Smith Wesson Bodyguard 2.0. Here it is. It's small. If you can't tell from the pictures, from the videos, you really have to hold it in your hand. That's what I'll say about this. That's the first thing that caught my eye when I took it out of the box. Here's the box it comes in. It doesn't come with a case or anything. It just comes in a cardboard box. And it was wrapped up in this protective sleeve. And this must be made for a bigger gun, because it was in there and it just looks so tiny. I don't know. They could have used a much smaller box, to be honest. So, and it's very, very thin. I'll show you how thin this thing is. So, take a look how thin that guy is. It's so thin, in fact, that they didn't, or couldn't, put an optic cut on here on the slide, because it's just so small. Nobody manufactures an optic that could fit on this thing. Hopefully there'll be maybe some aftermarket things, like maybe a laser that would attach in some fashion. My dad has a Caltech that doesn't have any Picatinny rail or anything on it, that has a aftermarket laser on it, so maybe something like that would be good. There's nothing wrong with these iron sights. It's a wide U notch in the back, and then there is a dot on the front sight, which appears kind of red with a green dot in the middle. And that green dot is, I think they call them Trigicon. They're the kind that glow in the dark. So that's kind of a nice little bonus. Can I get a little closer and show you that without the camera going crazy? Okay, there we go. Yeah, it's very thin. I'll show it to you in my... My finger is as long as the barrel. And if you put two fingers out, the gun pretty much disappears. There you go. One thing that I'll say is kind of a con to this. They put serrations. Obviously, they put serrations up front and up back. There's more toward the front than there is toward the back. I wish they would have moved that Smith & Wesson logo over here somewhere and continued these serrations. Because if you get, some strange foreign substance like, say, gun oil, perhaps, on your hands, and you try and bring that slide back, it's kind of difficult. There's not much to hold on to because it's so small. Interestingly, they did continue those serrations on this beveled edge here, which does help a little bit. That's kind of your grippiest part right there. But unfortunately, that edge right there on my hand, if I grab it this way, it kind of feels like I'm being slowly murdered by the world's dullest knife, because it's just not very comfortable. So I wish they had done deeper cuts. And I'm sure that just wasn't possible just because of the size. It is so small. There's not that much material to work with. So they did fairly well. It's not an easy slide. It's not one of those Smith Wesson easy slides. It's a 380 ACP. It comes with 2 magazines. One is a 10 rounder and one is a 12 rounder. So I like that. The 12 rounder has a bit of an extension on it. So when you slap that in there, it will extend the grip slightly. Oops. Throw that in there. And that is one thing about this gun. You really got to slam them home. But that's not uncommon. So that gives you for me, I can get all 3 fingers on this gun now. With the 10 rounder, it's about 2.5 fingers on there, which is sufficient. So everything I have not shot this yet. I have not fired this gun. I'm really looking forward to it. There are lots of videos online about these. They're very popular. They are flying off the shelves apparently. In order for us to get one, we had to order it, and nobody had them in our area. Nobody had them on the shelf to purchase. You can get this with a safety like I have here, or without a safety. And my whole thinking on that was just, I mean, you can always choose not to use the safety if you don't want to use it, so why not just have it? And it's a very stiff safety, which I knew before we got this. I knew that was a very stiff safety, and that's what I want. It is possible. So it's ambidextrous, it's on both sides. It's quite possible to flick the safety off with the side of your thumb. Not so possible to put it on with the side of your thumb like that. To flick it up, it just kind of takes the skin off. It's a very rough surface, and it needs to be. But it does tend to hurt a little bit, which is fine. It's a very, very stiff safety. So in order to engage the safety, I have to shift my grip to something like this. I can't put the safety on no matter how hard I try with this kind of grip. So I have to shift my grip, then it goes on. And I wanted a safety that was easy to disengage, hard to engage. It's not going to. What I wanted is something that would not engage or disengage in your pocket, because this is a pocket gun. It is that size. You would put it typically in some sort of pocket holster. Goes right in there, and this fits in a pants pocket, a purse, a cargo pocket. This is great for a cargo pocket. It just looks like you've got a phone in your cargo pocket or something like that. So if you want to do concealed carry, this is a really good option. Some say the best option right now, Smith Wesson Bodyguard 2.0. So I'm going to take this to the range at some point soon, and I'm going to fire it. I have not fired it yet. It has a very low, what they call bore axis. So that means that the barrel is low down on the firearm, which helps with recoil. So it won't flip up quite as much as you fire. It tends to put the recoil right back into your hand where it should be, and push back a little bit more than it flips up, is what I've heard. I'll see if that's true in the testing. But I've got some Federal just ball ammo that I'm going to try. And this is what I'm going to break it in with. This just basic Federal 380 95 grain full metal jacket. That's how I'm gonna break it in, because I have heard that this requires a little bit of a break-in. The safety, when I first got it out of the box, was very stiff. I mean, it's still stiff, but I worked it up and down for a while, just trying to break that in, and it helped a little bit. It's not a lot different, but it did help a little bit. It loosened up a little bit. And speaking of things that are kind of tight and difficult on this firearm, this 12-round magazine, it's quite stiff. Let's take the rounds out of it. Okay, holds 12 rounds. Getting that 13th or the 12th round in there is, oh my god. I heard one YouTuber call this an 11-round magazine, because he said, try as I might, I cannot get the 12th round in there. And it is possible. It's not an 11-round magazine. You might want to use a loader, like one of those Maglula, Uplula loaders. I believe they work with this, even though it's a small magazine. I'll double check on that. It's getting stiff already. I use 2 thumbs. There's 10, 11, oh boy, okay, 12. So it takes effort, but it's doable. Now, I have loaded and unloaded this multiple times to try and break in that spring, and then I leave it loaded also, because I've heard that can help break in the spring as well. But I've also heard that springs, what wears springs out is the constant compression and decompression of the spring. So, over time, this should get a little bit looser. The first time getting that 12th round in there, I think I used the Uplula for that. 10-round magazine, easier, a tiny bit stiff, but easier, way easier. Let's see, other than the Federal ammo, gotta represent my hometown by getting some Hornaday Critical Defense, Hornaday American Gunner. These have the, what do they call it? The FTX projectile, which has that little so there's a little orange thing right in the end of that hollow point. I'm not sure what that does. It looks like a pencil eraser to me. Like you're gonna, erase your math homework with it. But it does something apparently, because this ammo is pretty highly rated. The American Gunner, let's take a look at that. So here's more of a basic hollow point. If you can see that. Nice hollow point. So my intention, my use case for this, it would be self-defense, possible concealed carry, obviously, or home defense. So my idea, this is just how it seems in my head. So instead of grabbing, if you hear a noise, you hear your dogs barking, you hear a window breaking, whatever it is, you don't necessarily want to come out like Rambo and have your AR-15 or your, full-size handgun or something like that you can't conceal. So I'd rather, when I hear those dogs barking, windows breaking, people screaming, whatever, I can throw this in my pocket and that intruder has no idea that I'm a threat to him until it's too late. Concealed carry gives you that element of surprise. So just depending on the situation, I would have more than one option. I would have this as an option, a full-size handgun as an option, and then some type of pistol caliber carbine or something like that as an option, or maybe a shotgun as an option. Have all those things available so that you can grab what you need for the situation. That's my goal. Along with, here's just what the American Eagle looks like, just basic ball ammo. So I'm thinking home defense mainly, self-defense, and just something fun to shoot. It's a very likable little gun. When you get your hands on it, it just feels good. It feels, so they put a bit of a bulge in the back, see how it's kind of rounded there, and they did the same thing on the front, which gives it a nice, it gives you something to hold on to. Even though it's a very small gun, the grip is totally adequate. It's better than adequate. It's good. The trigger, let me see here. Triple check, I'm unloaded. The trigger is it has a trigger safety on it, as well as our manual safety. Let's take that manual safety off and pull the trigger. There you go. That's the reset. There you go. Feels pretty good to me. We'll see how it is at the range. I'm really excited to not just fire this gun, but to get back into kind of the hobby of going to the range. It's been a lot of years since I was regularly at a range. My dad used to take my friends and I out to go shooting on a semi-regular basis, but that was so many years ago, and times have changed. A gun like this was not available at the time. You would get like maybe a 32 or a 25 auto or something like that. 380 I think would do the job much better. Some people say 380 is not enough. Well, I don't want to get shot by it. I'll tell you that. So, and some people say it's the minimum that you should go for, but still acceptable. I think, in my opinion, it'll be good enough. You know, I'm not going to go hunting with this thing. I'm just going to, you know, shoot mostly at paper, to be honest. I live in a safe place. I'll probably never have to use this in a self-defense scenario. You see how small I it just feel like I need to handle it with my fingertips. It's so small. And I don't have huge hands, by the way. I'm not a giant. I'm 6'2", and a little on the thin side. So my hands are not huge. But I have heard, I saw a video of someone who was having an issue with getting bit by the slide. You do ride high on that grip, and I can totally imagine that. If you've got big hands, getting hit by that slide, I can see that. So I would say put your hands on it in a gun shop. Either fall in love with it like I did, or if you've got like giant bear mitts of you know, bear paws for hands, then maybe this is not the gun for you. But for me, I think this is going to work out real well. So I'll see you at the range. Smith Wesson Bodyguard 2.0 380 ACP. Let's shoot some steel. So I can tell you right now, I'm not going to be satisfied until I get 6 for 6. But I've got plenty of ammo to get that done, hopefully. These sights, they're good, but that U-notch in the back is quite wide. It's just something to get used to. It's a short-range device. We're shooting at it's 15 yards, maybe. This is a 25-yard range. There are targets to the right of me that are closer to 20, 25 yards. Here we go. Not quitting until I get 6 for 6. Safety off. Firm grip. Darn it. Sounds like it's hitting it. There we go. Okay. Okay. So I'm having, let's say, a limited amount of success with the steel targets, and I want a little bit more information about where those rounds are going. So we're going to shoot at some paper at a closer distance of 10 or 15 yards. I'm not sure. Let's see what happens. 10 rounder. Charges itself automatically. I'm not sure that's a great feature. And here we go. Safety is off. Let's practice some fundamentals. Your grip, sight picture, trigger pull. Ten rounds. Let's go see what we got. So here we go. 10 rounds from the Smith Wesson Bodyguard 2.0. User error. That's not bad. This group here, not that bad for a pocket pistol. Let's shoot some more. I'm going to aim at the number 6 ring, the number 6 exactly on the left side. Let's see what happens. Practice makes perfect. All right. Man, it's hard to see. My eyes are not great. So here's my target. I don't think I'll be putting this one on my wall. The first rounds went a little to the left, but at least some of them hit the X. Obviously 2, I screwed up big time. And then I tried to aim right here, and my eyes could not see it. I had a really hard time seeing that from a distance. And I got impatient and I fired too fast, so they just went all over the place. I mean, some of them probably didn't even hit the paper. So, not my finest moment. So this time, instead of slamming the magazine home and having that slide go forward automatically, let's do it a little bit differently. Let's put that slide forward. It's empty. And then let's load it. Put one in the chamber. Because I just didn't like the fact that when I was slamming a magazine in there, it was charging one. It was putting one in the chamber automatically. I kind of don't like that. So let's see. So now what I've done is I've put up a new target, fresh target, something I can focus on. I'm going to aim for the middle because my eyes just can't see those small numbers on the left and right side. So, and I have had 0 malfunctions. I'm 1 box down. So I've gone through about 50 rounds already, almost 50 rounds. No malfunctions, going pretty smooth. There we go. 12 more rounds. No malfunctions. The Smith Wesson Bodyguard 2.0 post-range day thoughts. She's a little dirty. I only put about 150 rounds through it. Had no malfunctions. The recoil was very manageable. One piece of information I didn't mention that I want to talk about is the weight of the gun. Generally, the lighter the gun, the more recoil, potentially the more recoil you can have, and this is a very lightweight gun. I'm getting 9.85 ounces. It's quite light. As far as the barrel flipping up, as opposed to pushing back, there's a little bit of muzzle rise, of course, but it's very manageable, very shootable. Would I use this in my rotation? Yeah, I would, but I shot it at farther distances than you would typically use a little pocket gun, a mouse gun. When I took the concealed carry class, we shot at much closer distances than I did at the range. They started us at like 3 or 5 yards or something like that, and then went a little bit farther, like 7, maybe 10 yards. I can't remember, that was a long time ago. So, you know, short ranges, that's what it's for. It's a little pocket gun. It's very likable, like I said, and I'm definitely keeping it. I'm putting it in the rotation. I have nothing but good things to say. I did not get bit by the slide at all. Some people with larger hands could potentially get bit by that slide. It rides quite low. No problems there. The trigger was fine. For some reason, I don't know why, it kind of made my finger numb. The recoil impulse, when I would pull that trigger, I wouldn't feel that much pressure here. I mean, I would, obviously, but it didn't make me numb or anything like that. It didn't give me discomfort. The only mild discomfort I had was on my trigger finger. I don't know why, but it's a very, very minor gripe. I wouldn't even call that a gripe. That's a nitpick. It's nothing. It's a 2 and something inch barrel. I didn't mention the length before, and I guess I'm not mentioning it now because I don't know the exact number, but it's a short barrel. It's a tiny gun. Tiny gun. Even with the slide pulled back, it's still not, I mean, it's kind of palm sized. So, good things to say. I fired 150 rounds of Federal American Eagle ball ammo. No malfunctions, so it's looking good. And if I have any, and I'll try it with hollow points later. Got to try it with hollow points. Got to put some more rounds through it. But so far, it looks really good. So thanks for watching.